on the corner of Winslow Way and Highway 305 stands the Bainbridge Island Museum of Art. It just opened in June this year and was over 10 years in the making. This 20,000 square foot facility cost $12.9 million to build and includes arts from Kitsap and Olympic Peninsulas, as well as the greater Puget Sound. In addition to the museum, it includes a 95-seat auditorium, 2 classrooms, bistro, and a museum store. I'm here at the Bainbridge Island Museum of Art with Kristen Tollefson. She is the Education Director. Hi, Kristen. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks.
This museum is amazing, and it's hard to believe that actually the location of the museum was once a dump, sort of, site. All sorts of things were recovered. Can you tell us a little bit about what was found on this property?
Well, there were actually many things that existed on this property, including one of the first general stores on the island. In subsequent years, the property behind the museum was used as a parking lot and a junkyard. And when the excavation was starting in preparation for the museum, they found over 25,000 tires and over 200,000 tons of steel, which was recycled and actually coincidentally forms about the same amount that was used in constructing the new museum.
Oh, that's really amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. There are a lot of notable green features to the museum. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those?
The building itself is designed to accommodate LEED Gold standard, which is leadership in energy and environmental design. It's an architectural standard for green design. Some of the things that we feature are this heating and cooling system, which is generated by 14 wells that are drilled down to up to 400 feet below the museum. And cool air circulates in the summer from underground, and in the winter, the same air, which is static, approximately 65 degrees year-round, is circulated back into the museum to preheat any air that goes into the heating system. So it saves, we're anticipating about 30% in our electrical heating and cooling bills.
Wow.
We have a solar array of panels on the roof, and we also are featuring on the site rainwater catchment basins, which draw any kind of runoff into a filtration system. So there are many, many considerations on the site for green and eco-friendly building.
That's amazing. And not only is the building green friendly, but it is also very people friendly. I've heard the museum here referred to as a living room for art and also sort of a library. Can you tell us a little bit about the feeling of the art museum?
Sure. The vision of the museum was really initiated by Cynthia Sears, one of our founders. And she had this idea of a place where people could come to be with art and to learn about art, to basically experience art firsthand, that would be accessible in a way like a library or a living room. It would feel comfortable, it would be free, it would be open to the public as much as possible. So we are open 7 days a week, and we are free. We do have a free admission. We're supported by generous contributions from donors and from members. So the feeling of the museum is also enhanced by the architecture. It's a very humane scale, lots of natural materials were used, and a lot of natural light comes into the space that makes it feel very connected to the outdoors.
Kristen, we're standing amongst some really neat pieces of art. Can you tell us a little bit about this exhibit?
You are in the First Light exhibit, which is a regional sampling of arts and crafts of our time, which means contemporary. And this was a group curated show featuring 7 curators from the region who selected works and worked together to really flesh out a cohesive show.
How often will the exhibits be changing in the museum?
We are anticipating a seasonal change, so roughly every 3 months. This particular show will close out the end of September and the new show in this space, in the new shows in the museum, will open October 12th.
Now there's also an auditorium and classrooms on site. Can you tell us a little bit about the educational programs that are happening or will be happening in the future here?
The education piece of the museum is extremely important, as it would be at a library, and it's part of what makes this place accessible to the public. We are currently engaged in a series called Ion Artists, in which people from the original installations in the galleries, the architect who was responsible for the building, the landscape architects and sculptors who were involved with the design and installation of the roof garden, are coming to speak in the auditorium and give people tours of the pieces that are on display from their work. So we are looking forward to that. We will be unrolling a film series, a pilot film series featuring films about art this fall, and we are looking forward to multi-age workshops in our classrooms and tours for field trips from schools. And lest people get confused about education only being for kids, we are really looking at a wide demographic and also doing multi-age programming. So we're looking forward to a really robust education program.
Now, for viewers that are interested in learning more about the museum, you have a website.
That's right.
And what is the website?
It's www.biartmuseum.org.
And on the website, will there be information about upcoming exhibits, the classes, and stuff like that?
That's the best place to find information. You can also friend us on Facebook. You can also, on our website, sign up for our e-news, which is our monthly newsletter that tells about upcoming events. And certainly by becoming a member, you can find out about all of those things first. So.
And of course, the very best thing to do is to actually come here and to check out the Bainbridge Island Museum of Art. It's absolutely spectacular. And I thank you so much for joining us today, Kristen.
Well, thanks for taking the time.
Standing outside the Puget Sound Naval Museum here in downtown Bremerton. It's located right next to the Washington State Ferry Terminal. It was originally established in 1954 by the U.S. Navy. It's changed places many times and in 2007 finally settled here at its current location. Downtown Bremerton inside the Puget Sound Naval Museum. Here today with me is Danelle Setters, the curator of the museum. And it's really loud in here. There's a lot of neat interactive stuff to do. What is the room next to us?
Well, the room behind us is known as the Family Discovery Room. It's just a place that we wanted families and children to be able to go to, let off a little steam. Also, we have components of our permanent exhibits also geared more towards children. So just an area for them to play in and explore and get excited about U.S. naval history.
The museum is really large, and I understand this building actually used to be part of the shipyard. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, the building in which the museum currently resides is known as Building 50. It was built in 1896 on the shipyard. It was one of the very first structures built at the shipyard. And it's in the neoclassical style. It definitely looks like a house, and a lot of people think that people probably lived in it at some point. That was actually never the case. It was used mostly for administrative offices, so for the officers and leading civilian personnel in the shipyard.
Now, the Puget Sound Naval Museum is one of 12 museums that are funded by the Department of the Navy. Can you tell us what makes the one here in Bremerton so unique?
What makes the Puget Sound Navy Museum unique is really our mission. Our mission is to collect, preserve, and interpret the naval history of the Pacific Northwest. So we're very regional in what we collect, the research that we do, and what we present to the public.
And tell us a little bit about the exhibits that are here on a permanent basis.
Sure. Well, we have 3 permanent exhibits right now. The first is the one that we are in currently. It's the history of the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard and Intermediate Maintenance Facility. And the shipyard was established in 1891 and is one of the leading U.S. Navy shipyards today. So we felt, just because of our proximity to the shipyard and the fact that they do such important work in this region, that was really important to tell their story. The next one we have is on the USS John C. Stennis. It is a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, and it's currently home-ported in Bremerton. Basically, with that exhibit, we wanted to show what it was like to live and work on a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier. A lot of people will never get on an aircraft carrier, so we wanted to help the sailors, I guess, be able to have somewhere to bring their families, to show them the work that they do and what it's like for them on the ships when they're away.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the interactive stuff, because as the audience can hear behind us, the kids are having a great old time in there. And there's so many hands-on things to do here at the museum. Was that part of the idea, is to actually make it hands-on also?
Definitely. We understand that everyone engages and everyone learns in different ways. So a lot of people like to read the text that we have on the labels in the exhibits. A lot of people, like the kids you can see here, they like to be able to move things around and manipulate things. We also have a lot of media-based interactives, so a lot of interviews, and that really helps us incorporate that individual story within our exhibits as well.
And if someone wants to come here to the museum, when are you open, and is there a cost to get in here?
We are absolutely free, so we love that. No cost for museum admission, no cost for any of our programs. We are always free, and we plan on staying that way.
And if someone wanted to learn more information about the museum, do you have a website they could go to?
We do. It's PugetSoundNavyMuseum.org. We have information on how to get here, how to contact us, and when we're open, so what programs and exhibits we're offering in the near future.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Danelle, for being on the show today. We really appreciate your time.